Hi, everybody. Connie here. I want to take a little bit of time today and start jumping into our Ladies of the Bible. And before I do that, I had two little short fun topics that I wanted to talk to you about. And then we'll get into talking about Sarah. Okay? So, the first thing I wanted to share that I was thinking about was, do you wear makeup? Do you wear skincare? So that's a question that you guys can answer down below. And if you wear skincare, do you use a complete skincare line? Do you use pieces? Do you use it once or twice a day? More questions. I'm curious today. I have a reason. And the second question is, do you wear makeup? Are you a no makeup girl? Are you a minimal makeup girl? Or do you like your makeup? And those are questions that I really would like you guys to answer down below and just kind of see where you are. And I will tell you that for myself, I spent 13 years selling skincare and cosmetics. And several things happened to me out of those 13 years. But one thing I think was really important is that I learned the value of a good skincare line, and I learned the value of makeup and makeup application. And that was invaluable for me as I continue on into my now almost 80. I'll come celebrate my birthday with you when I turn 80. And so I wanted to encourage you. I really want you to answer those questions. And then we can have a conversation about the concept of, do you wear it? Do you do it? Why don't you do it? And there's a purpose to this. I'll get to it when I talk about Sarah. And not that she wore makeup and everything, is the principle of the thing. So I would love to know your thoughts on it. And before I share mine, I would love to know your thoughts. And then I'll come back and I'll do another video based on your answers. And we'll talk about skincare and makeup. Does that sound like a deal? One more quick thing is hair. If you haven't had a new hairdo in a year or two, I encourage you to book an appointment at a salon and look through some pictures and find something you might like and go in and have that done. Do you have a desire? These are more questions that you can answer. Do you have a desire to fix your hair, cut your hair, have a hairstyle? Do you just wear it straight? How are you on those issues of hair? And I can go into my story on hair. You know some of it, but I'll go into more for later as well when we talk about more follow-up on skincare and cosmetics and hair. So my other question on the hair, and then I'll move on, is the what do you color it? Do you not? Do you embrace your gray? Because I know most of us are over 60 here, 60 to 80 something maybe. And so do you accept your gray? And do you put anything on it to enhance it? Do you leave it alone? Some people I know like use a blue shampoo or something like that on it. So lots of questions I would love to have you guys answers on so I can come back and do a second video about all of that. So skincare and all the questions, makeup and all the questions, and hair and the questions. Okay? Does that sound like a deal? Now, I want to move on to the subject of the day. and that is our First Lady of the Bible. And I didn't choose something or someone on purpose. A name just came to me. And so, and maybe fitting. So I researched her a little bit, and I will tell you that I think this is going to be a two-parter as well, because I started seeing and feeling a lot of similarities, and so I thought I have to stop. This is a good stopping point, and I will go back and finish the study of Sarah. And if there's enough there to talk about, then I will come back with a follow-up on Sarah. And I'm just full of questions for you guys today, because I would love to know if you have any input on your thoughts of Sarah, or if you want to, maybe before I come back for the next one, you want to study Sarah yourself and make some comments below about what you get from the message from studying the life of Sarah. So I'm going to put my glasses on because I did make some notes, and it's not going to take me long to go through them, but I really, I was on a roll thought-wise, and if I try to do this off the top of my head, I don't know. I just want to make sure I get across to you what I got when I studied it. Okay, so here goes. So Sarah is the wife of Abraham. We all know that. And she became the mother of nations and had her son Isaac. However, she did not come to this until a lot of years and a lot of doubts that she had through the years. If you can imagine, God has promised you a child, and you've gone through your 30s and your 40s and your 50s and your 60s and your 70s and your 80s and still no child. You know, you almost can't help but have some doubts. So Sarah had her share of doubts. We all know that. And I know and this goes back to my questions with the hair and the skincare and the makeup and everything. And that is, I know I'm talking about births here and children, but I believe that we're in a rebirthing process. Most of us, if you followed me along the way, you're not a brand new widow. You've been here a while with us. And if you are a brand new widow, I encourage you to go back and catch some of my earlier videos. I've been doing them for almost it has been 4 years. Almost 4 years I've been doing them. And so go back to my first two if you haven't watched them. And I've forgotten the names now. Something about my first year as a widow or something like that, part 1 and part 2. So it's the only things in there that I've got that are a part 1 and part 2. So if you can find those, if you can't find them, comment below and I'll find it and make sure I get it to you, okay? So I believe we're in a rebirthing process at this point in our growth. You know, God doesn't want us to stay in grief forever. He has another side that he's expecting of us. And so I'm gonna touch on that in the study so far that I've done on Sarah. And so God promised Sarah and Abraham a son, Isaac, but Sarah did a lot of doubting of God first. And she decided she just thought God must have another plan. And she had this great handmaiden, I assume. And so she decided that she was going to maybe make a decision based on the promise of God, since she was beyond childbearing years and her handmaiden was not. And so she sent Abraham to the handmaiden. And along with that, I have another note here. I'm sorry, I don't want to miss it. Talking about Sarah doubting God. How many times have we doubted God or said, "Why, God?" during our journey as a widow? You know, if we look at Sarah and what she went through and the doubts that she had, why would we expect any less of us or any more? Of course, we're going to have doubts. And Sarah, God just kind of laid that story out there. And to me, what I got out of it was he laid that story out there to show us that, we all have doubts. But in the end, if he promised it, he'll deliver it, right? And so back to Sarah taking things in her own hands with the handmaiden. Oops, sorry, I kicked the thing. And Sarah forgot that nothing is too hard for the Lord. Who would have thought anyone could have birthed a child at 90? You can't blame her, honestly, for having any doubts. You just can't blame her, I don't think. Faith and belief in the Lord our God, yes, total faith. But doubts in his promise for her to have a child. So, if he can do that for Sarah with her doubts, what could he do for us? Right? I believe God is saying that we are never too old for what God wants us to do. If you're feeling helpless with health issues or making decisions on, finances, moving, different things that you might be going through, know that God can pull you through. Never stop praying, asking, and believing. Because God knows what you need before you do. Because he knew you were going to be here. We were going to be here before we were. And it's taken me a while to come into this, a long while. You guys have been watching me 4 years. And I don't know, this study, I'm almost at the end, and this study just really gave me a lot of ahas and gave me hope for a future, gave me hope for the plan that God has for me. And am I going to know every step of the way or have belief of every step of the way? If Sarah didn't, I probably won't either, and maybe you either. So the other point that I wanted to make on this before I close on this one is, if God didn't think Sarah was too old for what he promised, then he doesn't think we're too old either. Right? I mean, really, he has our back. And never stop praying, never stop asking, and never stop believing that God will deliver on his promises, because he says, just ask. The difference is, and I wrote this down in my journaling this morning, time to God is a nanosecond. But to us, it could be years, just like Sarah. Wow. Correlation there, I didn't even realize it. So, I believe God put Sarah in my heart and mind today for us, for our aha moment. That God has our backs, and it's time for us to step up and step out and pray for direction. And we may make a wrong turn, we may not make a wrong move. Maybe we go a direction that we think is something God said to us and it wasn't. But if it wasn't what he told us to do, we'll know it. He'll tell us. We'll see it. And then we just do a U-turn. I always tell people when I drive, I'm the queen of U-turns, because I was forever missing my turns. I get preoccupied and my mind goes on and I totally miss my turn. So I'm the queen of U-turns. So just make a U-turn. And when you make that U-turn, don't go back where you started, because then you're starting the whole process over again. Just go back to the U-turn to where you think you went wrong. And if you're not sure, stop and pray about it. So remember, we're not too old. We're not too helpless. All is not lost, because we have God's promises in our heart. And we just have to ask, and we have to pray, and we have to believe. So that's my message that I got from Sarah today. And I think that there will probably be a part 2, but I'm not sure. So we'll see when I come back. I hope you'll answer some of the questions that I asked you. And if you have to watch this over again to answer some of the questions, please do that. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming and watching and loving on me and supporting me through all of these 4 years as well. And we've all grown in this together. And for me, and I think for many of you, that it's time for us to start growing again and start doing and start believing for more. So thank you for coming. If you were new, thank you for checking in. If you're follow me all the time, thanks for coming back. And please hit the little subscribe button if you didn't, and the like button. They like us to hit the like button. And make your comments down below, because I really would like to come back with a second video on this. I love you guys and I appreciate your input. Thank you so much for coming. And also remember that if you want to talk about any of this, I also have the Facebook Widows group. If you want to bring up any conversations in there, you can. And if you are not a member yet, just let me know. Find me on Facebook. You can find me under Connie Norleen, and friend request me, and then send me a private message and let me know that you friend requested me, because the friend requests get lost sometimes, and that you'd like to be added to the Widows group. So that's it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And remember, if nobody else tells you today, I love you. Have an awesome day. Bye for now.